junk mail.
Mailchimp and Intuit coming together.
Thank you very much.
Spam. We all hate it, and none of us want to end up sending it. I'm sure that you've got antivirus solutions, political ads, the classic enhancement emails. As a user, you probably don't look at it that much, and you'd never intentionally send spam, right? Spam messages account for roughly half of all email traffic, and roughly 1 out of every 10 commercial emails sent is considered spam. So how do you fight spam? There are dubious methods, I'm sure, but this won't build trust with your audience. Instead, we need to look to experts in the space.
Mailchimp.
While today Mailchimp boasts over 13 million users, the bootstrapped company was not an overnight success story. With no outside funding to rely on, success was predicated on keeping deliverability rates high while striving to be a notable SaaS brand that folks can learn from. Mailchimp CEO Ben Chestnut has the answer to beating spam.
How do you get past spam? A spam filter.
I'll tell you what that is, and I'm keen to hear your guesses in the comments below. But first, we've got to get into some background on Mailchimp and the email marketing space. I'm Ben Hillman, and this is Verticals. In 1978, a marketing manager named Gary Turk composed an email that he sent out via ARPANET, the predecessor of the internet. Within this email, Turk advised open houses in Los Angeles and San Mateo, where his employer, Digital Equipment Corp., would unveil their latest computers. ARPANET had several thousand users, but Turk targeted the 600 users on the West Coast. Instead of sending individual emails to each individual user, Turk asked his assistant to send one mass email to all the users. He didn't know it at the time, but Gary Turk had just sent what historians claim as the first spam email. It fetched Turk and his company 20 sales over the next 3 years of open houses, at $1 million each. This tactic wasn't without its fair share of controversies. In the days that followed, ARPANET representatives approached Turk and warned him and made him swear to never do it again. No one listened to this advice. More and more marketers tried their luck with email tactics in the years that followed. While some used email for nefarious reasons, there were genuine marketers like Gary trying to sell legit products. It wasn't until the turn of the millennium that spamming was declared a real menace. Spam filters hadn't been invented, and slow broadband speeds meant loading messages took precious time. The first real combat against spam in the US was mounted in 2003, and it came in the form of the CAN-SPAM Act, an acronym for Controlling the Assault of Non-Solicited Pornography and Marketing, the actual meaning of which is weaved right into the words. At its core, the CAN-SPAM Act sets tight regulations for commercial email messages, as well as gives recipients the right to unsubscribe from a mailing list, if and when they want to. An email marketer that violates this law can be subject to some incredibly steep penalties, ranging from fines of $16,000 per spam email to criminal penalties of up to 5 years in prison. So how does one get past the spam filter? Well, it's not time to hear from Ben Chestnut just yet, but the answer begins with the development of email marketing tools. Tools for email marketers were primitive in the early 2000s. There was still a gaping hole that needed to be filled, that of designing emails, segmenting recipient lists, marketing automation, and the like. Consequently, several companies rose to fill that gap. The early lineup consisted of companies like Constant Contact, Litmus, and Campaign Monitor, with the sole aim of providing impeccable email marketing solutions that would put marketers right into their customers' and prospects' inboxes, and especially avoid the spam filter. Enter Mailchimp. As I've mentioned, the story of Mailchimp isn't a get popular quickly story. It's a story of patience and lots of it. The premier email marketing service was first launched in 2001 by two ardent web designers, Dan Curzius and Ben Chestnut. At the time of launching Mailchimp, the two had only one goal.
Okay, we help small businesses build their brand and sell their stuff.
They weren't really in it for the money, and as such, they treated the service as a side endeavor. It wasn't until 2007 that Curzius and Chestnut decided to put all of their eggs in the Mailchimp basket. Email marketing, however, wasn't exactly the best investment in 2007. For starters, spamming was at an all-time high. Research has it that spam accounted for 95% of all email traffic that year alone. But perhaps even more demotivating for the two co-founders was the fact that better-funded companies were already ruling the email marketing space. Curzius and Chestnut didn't give up. Mailchimp managed to grow beyond anyone's wildest imaginations. In 2021, Mailchimp had a revenue run rate of a whopping $800 million and was purchased by Intuit for $12 billion.
Couldn't be more excited about what's possible ahead for both of us.
What makes Mailchimp one of the best, if not the best, email marketing companies today is the fact that their value is directly tied to the success of their customers. As CEO Ben Chestnut said,
So we grow when our customers grow. So it's free to use Mailchimp until their databases get to 2,000 members.
but Mailchimp didn't start out with a freemium offering. For 8 years, they charged for the product without a freemium tier. It was risky, but Ben Chestnut and co were willing to take that risk. They would now be able to offer their tools and expertise to a wider audience. The fact that Mailchimp is still around today is proof that a freemium offering, even late in the game, is by no means a death sentence. In fact, it's quite the contrary. In a world where most email marketing solutions stick with the same branding for years, Mailchimp also stands out for being bold, quirky, and fun. Over the years, they have had several successful marketing campaigns. But about 5 years ago, they had a stroke of marketing genius. At the time, many people were curious about Mailchimp and what it actually brought to the table. In response, the company created a one-of-a-kind brand awareness campaign to fill that all-too-obvious curiosity gap. It was dubbed, "Did you mean Mailchimp?" To get the campaign up and running, Mailchimp crafted many different sites along with rich, well-thought-out promotional social media videos. From Kale Limp to Fail Chips and Jail Blimp, whenever someone looked up these quirky terms or mistyped Mailchimp, they would bump right into the main website. Occupying many different advertising and social channels meant that Mailchimp was everywhere creative-minded businesses might be, without having to use their real name. But how do you run a creative company? What's the secret ingredient to success?
Chemical X.
Well, as Ben Chestnut says, it's about the people.
People power companies. It's these people. People want to be creative.
Since its origins, Mailchimp has succeeded by empowering employees to be themselves. They even run quirky promotional campaigns like sending out cat hats or cats for hats. They've established a very particular brand by being different. By going against the grain of the usual humdrum SaaS playbook, Mailchimp has invented their own style guide.
Innovation is when you don't have a playbook. So if you don't have a playbook, by definition, you're onto something really cool.
Additionally, and the reason you're all here, Mailchimp knows the answer to defeat spam. In 2017, Ben Chestnut went on CNBC and was asked the question,
How do you get past spam, a spam filter?
His answer was simple.
Be useful and people will like your content and not block you.
Of course, this is easier said than done, but Mailchimp understands this, and they understand that if their users don't, then growth will be stagnant. Through their blog and help docs, you can understand strategies and tactics on how to be useful. But perhaps the best tool that Mailchimp offers is leading by example. Mailchimp is one tool that truly helps SaaS marketers get the job done, and with only a pinch of their resources. But there's a caveat to all of this. Even with an effective tool like Mailchimp, your campaigns will still hit a snag if you aren't creative, relevant, and sometimes quirky. The modern email recipients are savvy and well-versed in what makes a good email, and the only way to lure them in is to be truly authentic and value-focused. Anything less will inevitably see the inside of a spam folder. At present, the email marketing spectrum is looking promising, and Mailchimp is one of many selections. Over the years, Mailchimp has expanded beyond just email marketing services. The company now provides website hosting, data analysis tools, social media management technology, and dozens of other products. It's essentially a full-fledged marketing platform. Beyond that, innovative works of integrating email marketing with cloud-based and AI technologies suggests that the industry will only get better, more profitable, and certainly more accommodating from here on out. Mailchimp's exact success circumstances probably can't be replicated, but whether you choose them for their services or as an example to follow, you're in good hands. Do you use Mailchimp or a different email marketing provider? Let me know in the comments down below. From Paddle, I'm Ben Hillman, and I'll see you next time. And please don't send me to the spam folder.